So I got a call from, for example, MTV in London. And it was so funny because I picked up the phone and was like, "Hello, this is MTV London. I heard we heard that you're the best party planner in the Netherlands." And I was like, "Is this a joke? You know?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right, that's me."
Welcome to our podcast, The Future of Hospitality. I am your host, Arjen Eikenboom, and today our guest is Irene Avogadri, event and destination consultant. And not your average one, because with clients, celebrity clients like Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran, we have someone special here. Irene or Irene. Welcome to our show.
Well, however you want to pronounce it. Thank you, Arjen. Thank you for
Well, in
inviting
English, people pronounce your name as Irene, but I know you as Irene, so let's call it Irene as you are.
Thank you.
Irene, tell us who you are, what you do exactly, and why, and let us dive into your amazing profession and all your experiences.
Thank you. What a warm welcome. Can I come more often?
Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Irene Avogadri. Avogadri is an Italian name because I was born in Sardinia in Italy. And with an Italian father and a Dutch mom from Amsterdam. Living in the Netherlands now, mom of 2 boys. And like you said, destination and event consultant.
Yeah, I like that title. So tell me some more about... what made you decide to become a consultant? Now let's just first go to the core of it. How did Justin Bieber come in the picture?
Oh, no, then we need to start from the beginning.
All right.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. That whole story is a bit crazy. Yeah.
All right.
So, your question before that was, how did I... If I had the dream of becoming an event and destination, I didn't. No. I didn't like school. I didn't like homework. I liked school, but I didn't like homework. And I just knew I want to do something with maybe travel the world, or I think it was that. And then I did a private school for tourism in Amsterdam, only because it was only 1 year, and then I was finished.
Which one was that?
The name
World Travel School?
It was a private school.
The World Travel School, perhaps?
The World Travel School, yeah.
I went through that one.
No, you did not.
1991.
No, at the Herengracht.
Yes, that's where I was. Yeah, that's where I did my... Oh my God, we didn't even know this. It was The Hague in Amsterdam, back in the days. Yeah?
Yeah? Oh,
okay, we have that in common. Wow.
This is so
that
funny.
was also my graduated in all subjects and became a KLM 1 and 2 IATA specialist. Yes.
Really? Oh my goodness. This is so funny. So we went to the same school.
Okay. We didn't even know that.
And the only reason I did that is because all the other educations were like 3 or 4 years, and I just wanted to work. I didn't like school. I was like, let me do this, then I have something, and then I'll just, try it as a cabin attendant or whatever, and let's start there, travel the world.
Oh, wow.
Well, it didn't work out that way.
Go ahead.
I went to, it's like this office where they have the job mediation, and I went there to look for a job in the meantime. And they were like, you're interesting. Why don't you come work here? Like, well, why not? I don't have a job, so let's start. I did that for 3 years, making people happy, I guess, with jobs. And I love the fact that even the people who didn't know what they wanted, that I gave them something that they went to with a big smile every day, and when they went to their job. But at the same time, I was the one it was in Amsterdam Zuidoost. I was the one in the office where we had, like, I think 30 30 staff members. I was the one who always like, oh, let me plan the event, the summer event, or the event for all the, how do you say that, all the employees that we got at all the jobs. And so I knew that I liked the organization and the planning part. So after that, after 3 years, it was either you become a manager at the office or you were going out to do something else. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. So I started working as an event planner for a company in Amsterdam. But after 2 years, I loved it. And after 2 years, they decided to close the Amsterdam office and go to Rotterdam. I didn't want to go to Rotterdam at that point. So I was without a job, but no panic. I think that my mentality is always like, things will work out fine, no problem. We'll see. And then I got offered a job as an artist manager, which is like completely something else. So I started working for artists. Well, I say completely something else, maybe not, because it was also like trying to make the best for the artist. So maybe not a job, but still their own job and their own image. And
but how did you get there? I mean, because you may make a huge jump from event planner to artist manager or planner or whatever. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
But how do you get there? I mean, because that is a solid door. You need to open that door first. I mean, they don't see you. Hey, hello, I'm Irene. No, how did that work?
I don't know what it is, but I think that in my life, I always, I don't know if I create them or they're created for me, but I always have these circumstances where I meet people and then things
Law
start.
of attraction. What you send out comes to you.
I think so. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So what I did, I went to another office for job mediation, etc. And they were like, well, you know what? We have this artist manager and he needs a new assistant for a period of 3 or 4 months because his assistant is pregnant. And I was like, well, let's do it. So I had the conversation, no experience, nothing. And I started working for him. And then the lady didn't come back, so I stayed longer. And then I changed office to another agent where I became the artist manager. So that's kind of how it went, yeah. I think in life you need to, I'm a mom, what I tell my boys is, yes, you need certain certificates or, education. It depends on what you want to do. But I think that the lesson that I really try to learn them is just work the hardest, work the hardest. And plus, if you want to have success, it has to be your passion. That's what I believe.
I was going to say, I'm so glad you say that. I believe in that too. The podcast, couldn't have dreamed like last year. You know me well. Last year around this time, if you'd have told me, Arjo, you're going to do podcast, I would have said you're crazy. I mean, I was still recovering, but I started. I was like, let's go for it because I think I will like this. Something told me this is something because hospitality, I love hospitality. That's my passion. And I cannot lie. I mean, this is the best I've done in many, many, many years. It's so having these conversations, honestly.
And you're doing such a great job.
Oh, thank you. And it gives me so much energy because it's sharing energy. And like you said, go for it, but it needs to give you energy. That's the word, I think. It needs to make you happy. It makes you feel good. And I think then you have that energy that flows around. You send it out, you get it back. And that is the road to success. Whatever success means. I mean, it doesn't have to be a financial success per se, but success is when you feel good and you make other people feel good. That's what I believe success is about. Yeah. But go ahead. So you ended up at that moment artist manager. Tell me some more about that. What did you do?
So as an artist manager, it depends on what the artist requires. It went from you have like doing the contracts when they have the television deals or radio deals, or when it's a performing artist on stage, you need to stay in contact with the booker for the shows that they do. It's image building. What is it that you want to show the world? How can we get there? So it's a lot. There were artists who were like, "Oh, can you help me with the mortgage of my house? Try and do the finance. How can I do that?" And advice. Not that I'm the advisor, but I will reach out to the people that are, specialized in that. So yeah, it's a lot, and also here, it's serving.
Mm-hmm.
You're serving people.
Yeah. That makes it rewarding, perhaps.
It does. For me, it does. Yeah. And I just love to make people happy, and maybe that's the thing that is equal. Artist manager, you're trying to make people happy, and with events, you're trying to make people happy too. And to me, that's very rewarding. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because the question that pops up, you get to know a artist, you need to do the work with them. How is the first contact? Because I can only imagine you get to know one another a little bit. Yeah. When does the moment arrive that you think, okay, I got to trust now? Is that a process?
I mean, the office or the agency where I started working, the artists were already in. So it weren't that I needed to attract new artists, right, or anything. Mostly once they know you. It's a small world. So when an artist is looking for a manager, there weren't a lot of managers, There were a few, but it's people work. So it really needs to click. Can you say that in English too? Like you Connect. Need to. Yeah. You do have. It's like a relationship, like a marriage. You work really tight with each other. So there has to be something that has a little spark and energy. So I think that's the best thing. And with some artists you have that immediately. With some you can build it, and with some you don't have it. And then you just need to decide, no, we're not a good match. So no.
Can you tell me, the artists that you have a good connection with and still have?
Yeah. Well, one of them I started doing the management for, at that time, Rosana Lima, who was a stylist, fashion stylist for a lot of artists, for their television shows, for their performances, etc. Now she's known for a lot of years as Rosanna Kluivert. She's married to Patrick Kluivert, for those who are watching and know a little bit about soccer. Actually, it's a really funny story, because when I had my job interview at the agency where I started working, I was sitting there with the CEO, and all of a sudden, this little Tasmanian devil entered the room, and that was Rosanna. And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she's so full of energy still. And she was like, "I'm so sorry, I need to sign something. Okay, bye, I'm out." And she was out again. It's like, okay, hi. And she came back in like 2 minutes, and she was like, "Oh no." And we were like, "What happened?" And she said, "They broke into my car." And we were like, "What?" And what they did, she had this big show for the Eurovision Song Contest, and for the national edition. So she had like 20 or 30 different fashion sets. Oh, let's fly, in her car, and they stole it.
Oh my God.
And she had to show like the next day or something. So she was totally panicking. And what I did, because the CEO was like, "What are we going to do?" And I was like, "Okay, your bank, your insurance, and I started calling while it was my job interview. So we had a bond for life, and she told the CEO, that's what I heard later, she was like, "I don't care what you need to pay her, what car she wants to drive, but you're going to hire her." So,
oh my God, what a great story. You prove yourself on the job interview.
No, actually, yes, yeah.
That is
plus,
amazing.
I had a friend for life, yeah.
Wow. All right, so you met quite some artists, high-profile soccer players, as you mentioned. Patrick Kluivert, he's one. There are many more, of course. So at what moment you decided, I'm going to start my own business?
Well, something personal happened. The father of my children, we didn't have children at that time, but we were partners for 5 years. He became really ill.
Oh, yeah.
Well, long story, but he got into a coma, and they didn't expect him to wake up at that time. So it was a really, really difficult time. For I think 3 months he was in a coma. So yeah, that took a lot from me, the family, but also my job. And again, Rosanna was the one who really, from the artist, we were friends already, but
Yes.
the bond only became tighter.
Stronger in that stressful moment, yeah.
And she was like, I don't care what you need, but I'm here for you.
Oh.
And, when fortunately the father of my children, he became better, but he had to learn everything again. So it was a process of like 10 years where I was a caregiver for him. And even at that time in the beginning where he couldn't do a lot, Rosanna and Patrick were like, you have to come and eat here. We're having a barbecue and you're a special guest. And we were like, I was like, no, I don't want to bother anyone because maybe, he couldn't walk very well. And they were like, what? We're going to pick you up, And so that's where we bonded really, really strong. And then at one point she said to me, you know what? I think we need to start our own event company. I'm like, okay. So we did with another friend, Anouk Smulders, who at that time was a professional and international model. And she wanted to join. We started the Class Company, and we started, the idea was a high-end event company. Yeah, this was in 2007, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, 18 years ago.
Really impulsive.
But those are the best. I mean, come on, tell me more, because I'm on the edge of my seat. Tell me more.
Okay.
From
That's
that moment on.
right?
What happened? How did you evolve?
Well, the first event that we were doing as a test case, because Rosanna was expecting a baby at that time. She was expecting her son with Patrick. So it wasn't Dutch at all at that time because this was 2007, 2008. We did not a baby shower. I think you call it a sip and see. I think that's the name kraamfeest in Dutch. It's like when the family and friends are going to meet the baby for the first time.
You know what? I have no idea.
So we did it in a castle here in Holland. And,
of course.
Everything was blue, and it was so not Dutch.
What do you mean by that? So not Dutch. I mean, I think I know what you mean. The Dutch way of doing stuff, it's very demure and keep it low key and don't go out of your way. Don't show yourself. Not too much shiny stuff.
Exactly.
It was the opposite. Was like the way they do it in the US.
Exactly. Yeah, this was like the Kardashian way. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. So, the castle, all the details, the styling. Here in Holland, it was basically, let's have like 10 balloons and we put some little pieces of cheese on the table. We sit all around the table in like a circle. We sing, and that's it. That's the celebration. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, this is not how all Dutch people do it, but this is how, I think this was mainly it, especially in 2007. Yeah. And we wanted to do it like, I'm Italian, Rosanna is Portuguese. We knew how we celebrate, in our families, we celebrate things really huge, like, a big
Extravaganza.
celebration. We think about styling and food and a lot of people and music.
Celebrate.
So this is what we wanted to bring to the Netherlands. But to be honest, in 2007, we weren't ready yet. Well, we were ready, but the people weren't ready. So we really needed to build. Yeah.
Okay.
But we did a lot of great stuff. So, after 1 or 2 years, people were like, maybe we should do this. Why not? And that's when we did the wedding of Wesley Sneijder and his wife at that time, Jolante Cabau van Kosbergen.
Which is also a high-profile soccer player in the Netherlands, right?
He's a soccer player. She has she lives in LA now and has her own Netflix reality show at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so celebrity couple here. And it was a 4-day wedding in Tuscany, Italy. So I think that at that time people knew who we were, what we could do, and
you delivered, and that was
exactly.
that was been seen.
Yeah,
you delivered. Okay, move on to the other high-profile celebrities.
International, yeah. So in 2011, unfortunately, Rosanna became ill, like really ill. She's totally fine now, thank God. And Anouk, she was going to host Holland's Next Top Model. So unfortunately, they couldn't proceed with the class company. And I had to ask myself, do I want to do this by myself, yes or no? Mm-hmm. And I decided yes. Like I said before, I don't know what it is, but I always kind of attract all these special, not only special people, but special occasions and circumstances. I don't know what it is. So
law of attraction, I keep saying it. Yeah, no, it's true, yeah. True. Go ahead, yeah.
So I got a call from, for example, MTV in London. Mm-hmm. And it was so funny because I picked up the phone and was like, hello, this is MTV London. I heard we heard that you're the best party planner in the Netherlands. And I was like, is this a joke? And I was like, yeah, you're right, that's me. And then they wanted to do this show. They had this show worldwide, super sweet worldwide or something. And it was like all these Sweet 16 parties. And they did one in Colombia, and they wanted to do something in Holland. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. So I always attract like special things like that.
Good.
Now, all of a sudden, I had a horrible day at work. And it was, I think, 9 p.m. And I had the idea, you know what, today I'm just going to dive into my bed. It's enough. I had a horrible day. And the moment I wanted to get into bed, I received a message from a dear friend of mine, a Dutch gentleman who lived at that time in New York. And he sent me this message, and I read it. It was like, hey, Irene, could you do a viewing for 3 villas tomorrow afternoon for JB? And so I said, who or what is JB, first of all? And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Justin Bieber. So I was awake.
Yeah, of course.
My mood was gone. And the only thing I thought at that time was, okay, so I have an event tomorrow, like a big media event the day after. You know what? I'm going to call one of my assistants to help me tonight arrange this, because of course we're going to do this. And the other one, I'm not going to say anything to her. She needs to focus on the event. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to stress her. So that's her thing. Well, I did ask him a question. Why are you asking me? Because like villa viewings, that's not really what I do.
Good question. What did he say?
And he said, and he said, well, if something needs to be fixed, you just call Irene.
Wow.
So, and I heard this.
That was
I
your
heard this
name. That
before.
was your name in the ether. It was like,
I
okay, you
guess
need to call
so,
Irene.
yeah. And I heard it before. There was another, well, like an international artist, and he said to me, "We all have this Irene button in our phone. It's
That
like
is
when you
so
need help,
funny.
you just press the Irene button." So this is like a big compliment, I
That
guess.
is a big compliment. What do you, before you continue? It was a good question. That's why I said. But what makes you that good person? You think for that, the perfect person for that?
What made me sorry? I didn't hear the question.
What makes you the perfect person? What make them put you under the speed dial?
Um,
What is
well,
it?
first of all, I think I fix it.
You fix
You
it?
know,
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah,
if
yeah.
it seems impossible,
You do
let's
it.
make it
You
possible.
deliver.
Yeah, and I just love that idea of like, what do you mean we can't do it? Of course we can. You know,
It's like
so
you said at the beginning. Once you, if you want to do it, do the best you can. That's what you said earlier in
yeah,
this podcast. You
yeah.
said do the best you can because that is what you need
I
to
want to
do.
make them happy. I want to give that smile.
Wonderful.
Like,
That's the
yeah,
answer that I wanted to
that's
hear.
my main goal.
And
That's
they
my
know
main
that. They
goal.
see that.
Yeah.
And you do.
Yeah, we fix it.
See?
It doesn't matter, even if it's the middle of the night, you know, not too often because I'm getting older too. But yeah, so yeah, that I just love to fix things and even make a little bit give them a little bit extra, so it's even more than that they expected.
You don't just give what they ask. You deliver the whole package that comes, that belongs with that little thing that they ask you or big thing that they ask you. It needs to
That's what
be
I try to
complete.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
I
try to
see
do.
it. I totally, I see why they
And I
want to
think
have
another
you.
thing, I think another thing, once you start working with artists, and especially international artists, I always, because I don't do, I mean, I do some stuff alone, but I always have like a team, you know.
Of course.
And one of the things that I always tell them, I mean, I don't need to tell them anymore, but we don't ask for autographs. We don't ask for pictures. We just do the job and we don't ask for anything. They are the ones asking us to do something, but we don't ask
No,
anything for
no.
anything. So,
Know your place.
yeah, well, know your place. Yeah, yeah. But they all sign an NDA. You know, I need to sign an NDA, but my crew needs to sign an NDA for me too. This is not our job. Our job is to make the people happy. And that's what we do. The rest is not important. And then, of course,
Wonderful.
afterwards, you know, I will proudly tell the world that I had the honor of, you know, working for Justin and his team and for Ed Sheeran. And yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
What's it like with such high profile clients? Is the pressure different?
Well, first of all, mostly you work with their team. You know,
True.
it's
True.
not that you're one on one with them all the time. They have their own team, their family actually. So it's really important what type of team they have. And my experience is that, for example, all the stories with, you know, I only want blue M&Ms and, you
All
know,
right.
breaking down the walls with all the art. And I've never experienced that. They have really professional teams, really professional teams.
Okay.
And I think that's another thing, that the chemistry works well because they're professionals. I believe I'm a professional. So, you know, the communication goes smoothly and, you know, you immediately know what somebody wants. Okay, I'll get it. I'm on it, you know. So, yeah, it goes really, for me, it went really smooth.
What I
Until,
like in your story is that you didn't try to put yourself out there on that level and try to deliver. They came to you and you were like, hey, okay, I can do it. But you didn't brag. You didn't, you know what I mean? You just were you and you're still you. And that's what I really like about you and appreciate about you. That's what I think makes you so successful. It's the humbleness, maybe even, but professionalism.
Thank
I mean,
you.
there's a lot of labels that I can use. I hate to hate labels, but that's what I think. So,
Maybe I'm. First of all, thank you, because this is a huge compliment. Maybe this is one of my superpowers too.
yeah,
I hope it is. I hope it
I
is.
think so.
There once was there was somebody who told me, you know what I like about you? I think it was at a television set or music studio. I don't know. And they said, you know what I like about you is that you treat the CEO exactly the same way as the camera guy. And I was kind of surprised when they said that to me, because I said, of course I do.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and but to
Everyone
him
is equal.
it was a surprise, like, no, that's not how it goes. And I was like, well, this is how I work. So yeah, and this was one of the biggest compliments somebody could ever give me, because this is how I want people to know me. Like, I really try to treat everybody with the same respect. Yeah.
And it's your confidence in that attracts people. Trust me, that's exactly what it is. Without no destination consultant, tell me some more about that. What does that
Well,
entail?
so you just had a sneak preview of that, because that's exactly what I did for Justin and for Ed Sheeran. Once I started with his head of security. We went to the three villas, and it's like a site visit, so you need to check the houses. And I never did that, so it was so funny. So you show the houses, and one of the houses was of one of my friends. So thank God I knew the place. So it was, in the end, it was that house that they chose,
Right.
because I could tell like all the details of the house, of course, you know. So, but to give you an idea, the house didn't have a sauna, and Justin really likes to have a sauna for after the show, for example. So what I did, I put
Rentasana.com.
exactly, yeah. So I put a mobile sauna in there,
Yeah.
and a jacuzzi. And then once they arrived, it was like you get this shopping and a grocery list from the chef. So you get, you know, all the best ingredients, and you put it in the refrigerator, etc. Then once he arrives, it's like, oh, he really wants to play golf, like for in the next hour.
Okay.
Okay. But you need to privatize everything, of course, because, you know, you can't just put Justin on a golf court where everybody.
No.
So that's kind of what I did. And then all of a sudden, one of his team members, he said, you're really a great destination manager. And I said, oh, that's how they call it? I didn't even
Fucking love it.
I didn't even
That's
know
how-
what it was. It was just like, okay, let me fix it, you know. So that's what they call a destination manager, and or destination management. And I was like, okay, well, let's put that to my title. Let's add that to my title then. I really didn't. I didn't hear of that title. No.
No, I
Have you ever
didn't. I
heard of
didn't know it
destination
either. And
manager?
you were something that people, and that is, yeah. Again, I keep saying it. That is what make people or attracts you to people. People attract to you. I mean, that's what that connection is, because you were so down to earth. And hey, I do it. Well, what's it called? All right, okay, I'll put that on my title. I have a similar experience. Just not talk about me, but when I did a interview for a sustainable TV station back in the days. This is like 15 years ago. And I was working in solar energy, and I was doing the interview, and the producer was so happy at the end of the interview. It was cut, and he applauded. He said, Mr. Sunshine. I was like, oh, that's a cute name. So no, honestly, I created my own website and my own projects, calling it Mr. Sunshine. I was Mr. Sunshine for years.
That's great. And you
Honestly,
are.
yeah. It's
You
funny.
are.
So,
I love
but
that.
back to you, Irene, because these are great stories. Destination consultant. So, can you give me a few examples of what you're doing right now? Because Justin Bieber, how long is that ago?
This was 2016.
Okay, so we had
Nice.
COVID in between, and now it's 2025. What happened in those days? How did you? Because COVID was no destination events. There was nothing
That
going
was
on.
awful. That was
What
awful.
happened? What did you do?
Nothing happened. Well, a lot of stress happened. Yeah. I mean, events and travel, that's what I do. And
And the world
we
stopped at
couldn't
that
do that.
moment in
That was
2020.
like the last in line, you know.
Yeah.
So to open again. So yeah, no, that was awful. I mean, it was awful for the whole world, and yeah, no, a bad time. So we were building afterwards, you know, and trying to rebuild everything. And crazy year after COVID because everybody wanted to party, you know. We can party again. So that was a crazy year. And now things have the dust has settled, how they call it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, still doing and planning events, private events, corporate events, organizing incentives for companies to wherever, Barcelona, New York, etc. And the other way around. So destination management. Well, okay, my first client was Justin, and then I had Ed Sheeran, and I thought to myself, okay, but you know, these artists they come like once every 5 or maybe even 10 years. Justin didn't come back after 2016. So why don't I focus on the corporate side? Because just like myself, I go out with my groups of people, corporate groups of people to, for example, we can do a weekend in Barcelona with them or whatever. You have those corporate groups that are coming in also, inbound. So, and that's also destination management. So, for
Sure.
example, I
Sure.
have 2 groups now that are coming in. One from the UK. One is a group. Well, the client is from Paris, but the group comes in from all over the world, and they just want to have 2 or 3 really good days. Have a meeting, but also have like a nice dinner in the evening. Go on a boat through the canals in Amsterdam. A lovely Amsterdam. You know
Yep.
them. Um,
Most
so that's
beautiful
what I
place in the
do.
world.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my
Absolutely.
destination manager. And then when Ed Sheeran comes, we just always hope that he calls us again, of course. So yeah, that's it. And again, the events and incentive, it just makes me happy. You know,
It makes you happy.
making people
What also
smile.
makes you happy is, I think you wrote a book just recently.
I
And the
did.
book is called Ik Zie Jou. That's Dutch, and in English it's I See You. Tell me about your book.
Can
Why
I
and what
show
is
it to
it?
you?
Oh,
Can I
yes, of
show it
course.
to you? Here it is.
Ik Zie Jou. Yeah, 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 yeah. Tell me about your book. Tell me about it.
If I do this,
Oh my
no,
gosh, this is exactly the
I'm
right
kidding.
size.
that's
It was
that's
so
crazy.
funny.
I
I
never
didn't
did that
expect
before.
that.
I'm like, yeah. Yeah, Ik Zie Jou. Well, after I think that the biggest contrast was always doing what I do for the artist. People had this idea of, oh wow, she has a glamorous job, you know, doing all these events, working for the celebrities, etc. But what a lot of people didn't know is that I was a caregiver when I was at home for years, and the people who knew it were like, wow, this is such a great story, and story of hope, story of connection, but also the contrast between those 2 worlds.
Resilience.
So when it was COVID, the whole COVID period, I didn't have a lot to do, and I thought, okay, maybe this is the time. Why don't I just write a pitch and I send it to 3 publishers, and all 3 of them responded very positive, like
Okay.
they wanted to have a conversation. So I spoke with all 3 of them, and yeah, that's kind of how it went. And then October last year, here it is. But the story is in Dutch we say met een lach en een traan, with a smile and a tear, and it every chapter is an anecdote, and it's literally anything. So it's about motherhood. It's about sisterhood. It's about my job. It's about grief. It's about marriage and divorce. So,
And all the stuff
yeah,
that people don't talk about, but what happens really, really happens.
yes,
That okay,
yes.
that's in the
And I
book.
think that the most important thing, Ik Zie Jou, I See You. Well, the subtitle says the book is about consistency, acceptance, and caregiving with a touch of glamour. That's the
Okay, oh,
subtitle.
cute. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. And what I wanted to, the message I want to spread with Ik Zie Jou, I See You. Let's see each other. Let's truly see each other. Like, there's this quote, and I'm not sure if I say it correctly, but it's something like, just be kind to people because you never know
What's going on?
what's
Yeah, I
exactly, you
always say
never
that.
know what's the story behind the person. So, let's treat each other with kindness and respect. That's kind of what I always try to do. And the same with Ik Zie Jou. We can judge, easily, and everybody. I mean, but everybody has their own story, why they
Yeah,
do what they do, and if we see each other better, I think,
for
yeah, I don't know.
real,
I think
each other for real. We dare
for
to see
real,
each other. For,
exactly. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it will create a better world. Also, yeah,
Oh, I totally agree. I'm so glad you
yeah.
said that.
Thank
I
you.
recognize it. I always say that when I hear people talk about someone else or being unkind to someone else, when I notice that, I always say, be kind, whatever the situation.
Yeah,
You don't know what's going on, what
yeah,
struggle they're going through right now. The
exactly,
biggest smiles behind the biggest smiles can be the
exactly.
biggest struggles. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I do say don't confuse my kindness with weakness
Uh-huh.
because I'm still Italian.
Aha, I like that.
I am
So,
still Italian.
can you give me what would your advice be to people trying to manage both personal hardship and professional ambition? Because that's
Could
what
you
you did.
specify it a little bit more? What you want to?
People who trying to manage both the personal hardship, that's what you had with your husband, and keep the business going. So how do you keep all these balls in the air?
It's in my book, probably the first chapter. I didn't have any other choice. You just
All
do
right,
it.
that's an
You
honest
just do
answer.
it. You just do it. And
Yeah.
and I mean, this is my situation, but a lot of people are in a similar situation where they just need to keep on going. I mean, you need, especially as an entrepreneur, you need to work or there's no money and there's no food on the table. And I'm a mom, a single mom, so there has to be food on the table. So always try to pick yourself up and move on. Dust yourself off.
And try again.
Yeah, exactly, and try again. That's definitely what I always did.
Yeah.
And even though I'm this tiny little woman and girl in the past, I never. I think it's Rihanna who said, even if you're scared, just fake it. Just fake it. Just try to be as convinced about what you're going to do as possible, and don't show the world your fear, and just fake it. And that's what I always did. And it wasn't really bluff because I knew I knew that I would deliver. It's not bluff, but
It's not the
yeah,
anxiety
especially,
letting lead you.
yeah, exactly. And especially as a woman, you always have to convince the man that you can do the job and that you're able to, do certain things too. Not all men, but
Is that still a
but it.
thing? I don't want to jump to another
No,
subject,
no, no.
but
You can, of course. Yeah.
that's still a thing. Also in your profession,
I
you
think it
notice
really
that?
de- I think it really depends on, definitely, it's still a thing, but I think it depends on what industry you work in. I do think that in the hospitality, there are a lot of females, of course, who work in hospitality. But still, if you look at the higher functions, or how do you call it? Like the higher
C-level.
titles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Higher
exactly.
positions. Yeah.
Still a lot of white men.
Yeah, that's true. Guilty.
We gotta be honest. Yeah, well, no, and I mean that's something that I hopefully that will change, and it did, of course. It got better, over the years, but I think we still got some work to do. Yeah.
All right. I want to go back to your book. Where can listeners or viewers of this podcast follow your work, find your book?
Well, to the Dutch people, it's in Dutch, so it's probably Dutch, for the Dutch people. It's bol.com.
Bol.com. Yep, that's the one in Holland.
That's the fastest way, and you will have it within 24 hours.
Right. Okay. Any final thought for our listeners and viewers?
Let's really see each other more, and I think that counts for business as private. I mean, I think that if we do that. Because it also makes you do your job better. If I really see you, then I really understand what you require, what your needs and your wishes are, and then I can deliver even more. So that's business wise, and on a personal level, let's be kind to each other.
Amen to that. Irene, thank you so much for being on our show and sharing.
Thank you for inviting me. I loved it. I think
Good.
we could have talked even for 2 hours.
Yes, we can go on for hours. Maybe we do a second part
Who
2
knows?
at some point.
Who knows? Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.